Good evening and welcome to the hour dedicated to talk about all things strange, weird, and paranormal. You're listening to Strange Talk, broadcasting on 1660 AM in Northside, 91.7 FM HD2 WVXU in Cincinnati. We're also streaming at radioartifact.com around the entire planet Earth. The intro track to this episode and most of our episodes is the Strange Talk intro by Star Silk. And I'm your host, Alex, and we've got some very special guests today if you would like to introduce yourselves.
Hello, I'm Brian Sterling-Vete. And you are?
And my name's Helen, Renée, Wuorio. Well, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on. So this might sound familiar for you all listening in because we talked, it was a couple months ago, an article someone wrote about your research came up, and I went, we really, really should talk to them because I think there's more to this article than what's here, because there was not a lot of information in the article. So I reached out, and I'm very glad that you responded back because your Project Half-Life is super, super interesting.
Well, thank you very much. And I'm glad you did reach out because when I saw the article, I nearly fell over and cried because it was a 3-page document.
Yeah.
And that was condensed down into 3 pages.
Yes.
But the tabloid newspaper that it appeared in was 2 columns.
Yeah.
And you can't see it that much. And that effectively basically said, Project Half-Life, ghosts can die, and this guy's an expert.
Yeah, that was basically it.
What?
I can't even remember the exact headline. It was just ghosts die after 100 years.
Yeah, it was
that was the headline.
So
it was ridiculous.
Helen woke me up on Halloween morning to this. I had no idea it was in the paper.
I said, "Oh, your story's in the paper," and then I read it and went, "Oh no."
Yeah, the article that I found was the one from Unexplained Mysteries, which I'm seeing it on other stuff now as well. But this one just says, ghosts may die after a lifespan of 100 years, researcher claims. And I was like, there's got to be more to this, because this is like not even like 2 paragraphs. And yeah.
Right.
No, the research was, it was much more in depth. And
yes.
But they, again, it's the tabloids. In Britain, the tabloids are notorious for butchering the report. They've got so many columns to fill. They've got so much space. You can understand it, but do me a favor, print a little bit more, guys.
Yeah, like at least take some of the like actual data from the website at all.
Oh God, no! Don't. Let's look at the facts. Why let facts?
Look at facts.
Why let that get in the way of a good, fun story?
I think it's a more fun story if you have any amount of facts to it. Just a little bit of facts. Just a little bit.
Well, the interesting thing was that we came up with the idea, or the seeds of Project Half-Life, came to us after an investigation at a place called Bodmin Jail, which is this huge, around 250, 300-year-old jail. It's been built up and built over the years. But the core of what you see there now in Bodmin in Cornwall, and if you're a fan of Paul Dark, the TV series, you will have seen Bodmin Jail, by the way. So there you go. It's about 250 years old or thereabouts. And we were invited to speak at a convention there with some very interesting people on the credits. And we were having breakfast the next morning after the investigation, and I think Helen commented, it was pretty quiet, that investigation. There wasn't much activity. And I said, well, actually, come to think of it, when you think of it, these old places don't have much activity. It's the newer places that have the activity.
Mm-hmm.
And on the way back from Cornwall, which is a 5-hour drive to Manchester, Helen and I were talking away there going, well, hang on, what if there's a link here between the more modern places? Then it started us thinking about, well, what if ghosts lose energy? What if they can't appear? And that's how it sort of snowballed from there. And this is about 10 years ago, wasn't it, Mike?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, what, 9-10 years ago.
And I'll blame you because you came up with the idea.
Yes.
But you noticed it.
Send you down the rabbit hole to do the research.
I think she does it just to keep me occupied for a while. I'll send you down the rabbit hole.
Here's
What about
a
this?
puzzle for you.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I'm like a dog with a ball. Oh, go chase the ball. That's a new thing to chase. But it was fascinating. And then we have always tended to collate data when you do an investigation. If you know, no matter how brief it might be at times, depending on the investigation, we still collate certain baseline data. And if we ever encountered, and I'll use the word sentient broadly here, entity that appeared to be the ghost of a former once human, and we could interact with it sentiently, that fell into the category of that we were interested in. That felt everything else, when it was stone tape theory or there was a logical explanation but too many potential variables, we sort of ignored. We stuck to the ones that were pretty, I hate to say certain, because as researchers you can never be certain without evidence. And a plethora of evidence at that. But the ones that we were really certain that, okay, this is an entity that is genuine. And when we collated it all, we took a sample of 100 of these cases. It surprised us because about 50% of the entities that were sentient, that we interacted with, they were less than 100 years old. And then the next step, or next jump, if you like, 100 to 150, was about 30% or thereabouts. And I can't remember my exact figures now. I think 27%, that's it, something like 100 to 150. And when you got past 250 years of age, there was virtually nothing. Unless, and I'll put an addendum here, unless whatever we were dealing with was, or seemed to be able to feed from a source of energy that is unknown to us. So it soon became clear. Then I called my friend Adrian Lee in Minnesota and said, Adrian, would you do me a favor? Can you go through your research? And then I started putting calls out. And they all seem to find the same sort of thing now. So what I'm hoping to do with you guys is encourage people to write in and objectively document what they have encountered. If they go on our website, paranormalrescue.com, and go to the research section, they'll see this article about Project Half-Life, and they see the categories of 100, 150, etc., etc., etc. And if anyone has information they're wishing to share and help collate through Strange Talk Radio, that would be really useful. To get a broader picture, not just in the UK or certain limited parts of the US, but a broader
the more data, the better.
Brushstroke across the US. It would be fantastic.
I think it is really interesting.
Because the fact is, when you think about it, if a ghost is an imprint, what makes it possible? Well, Helen is a Reiki master. I'm a Reiki master. But Helen did some research when we were writing our course books on Reiki. Tell them about the research about the electrical potential of the human body.
I'll let you explain that.
Okay. Well, the electrical potential of the human body, there's...
But then he remembers the numbers.
He's got the numbers,
I can't remember what I had for breakfast yesterday, but I can remember certain
all your brain powers go into the numbers.
Well, I think I'm doing Project Half-Life myself. I'll fade out on your show and become nothing. So if it suddenly goes dead air, folks, it's me. I've faded out and just disappeared. Anyway, what it led us into was some research about the electrical potential of the human body. And if there are circa 50 trillion cells in the human body, and each cell has an electrical membrane potential of 0.7 of a volt. That's 3.5 trillion volts of electrical potential in a human body. And when we die, where does that go? Yeah. This could explain a mechanism where there's an imprint or a ghostly spirit apparition that becomes of this 3.5 trillion volts. It's certainly possible. And anyway, that's how we started sort of like trying to understand the mechanisms behind what a ghost can be and what a sentient entity can be, and the energy that they might have to initially feed themselves. Then it doesn't surprise me when Professor Brian Cox from Manchester University turned around and said, well, ghosts cannot exist because they must adhere to the second law of thermodynamics, which is a pretty broad statement. And in my opinion, it was not the best statement to make, because it would be like saying people can't exist because eventually people have to conform to the second law of thermodynamics, and we fade away and die because we lose energy to reproduce ourselves.
Yes.
But what it does suggest to me is that ghosts have a lifespan.
Yes. Yes.
And there is only so much energy that a ghost can possess and maintain without being artificially fed from some other source. Hasten to add that their natural energy that they have from death probably lasts for, and I use the term our years, about 250 years before they seem to move on
kind of
to another plane.
Out. Yeah.
So
I'm curious. I just thought about this, collecting more data. If more modern, spirits that begin to appear, I'm curious if they will have, almost more energy because we interact with so much more, electromagnetic stuff now. I'm kind of curious how that will sway that data and see if things last longer or if they don't. I'm curious how that's going to end up changing things, but we'll need data to see what happens.
That is an excellent point, and I totally agree with what you're saying, because somewhere like Bodmin Jail, that is own stone slabs and bits of steel, that has got less electrical activity going on there than it does have in your radio station studio now, where you're surrounded by all sorts of equipment.
Yes, and things that
and
go
of course,
bump
as we
in the
know,
night.
electromagnetic radiation really does help to ramp up any alleged activity.
It really does. Yeah.
And your sensitivity to it as well, of course.
Yes.
So it's not down to what is actually being ramped up. It's also down to your perception of what's going on.
They've done a lot of studies of like dense electromagnetic activity puts people on edge, and I think that's part of why people are more sensitive to see something, and that is it just makes them like, even if they're not feeling that, they're feeling the like tenseness of it. Which is why people don't like basements, because that's where all your electromagnetic stuff is. It's all in the basement, and that's why you feel doom and gloom down in the basement.
Yeah, why can't people have happy faces painted on walls in the basement? You see these ghost shows, it's always a demon in the basement. Well, why the basement?
Like dirt floor, electromagnetic stuff. It's always dark. There's only one light bulb.
Yeah, they got a really rubbishy lighting system.
Yeah. It's like, well, there's your problem.
Yeah. The bulb is about a 5-watt bulb. You can't see anything.
It's like radius of this. That's all you can see.
And they're falling over stuff that they've had there for years and can't. You just bang my leg. But no, Helen and I were on an investigation. It was a paranormal rescue case a number of years ago now. A beautiful double barn conversion. It's on the same theme as you've just been talking about electromagnetic radiation. And beautiful double barn conversion, and we got a call just after Christmas. Can you help us? We've got a problem. And after eliminating, they go through an assessment called the Curtis scale, which is invented by Kelly Curtis from Manchester University, to assess whether they have a valid, potentially valid, case that we can study or help with. They passed the scale, passed the threshold really without any problems. So we deployed quite a big team. A lot of audio activity going on at the place.
Yeah.
One of the main things they were concerned about is over the Christmas period that year, they had their children and their grandchildren staying with them. And the grandson had always complained about problems in his room about shadow figures, something stalking his bed at night, hovering over him with piercing red eyes, looking down into his face. And this reached a crisis point whereby he was deeply disturbed.
Yeah.
And his mother said, look, I'm going to stay there with you. I'll sleep in your room with you. So she did. She had exactly the same experiences. Yeah. So that's when the grandparents went, right, okay.
All right, we have a problem.
The kids stormed out. Yeah, they stormed out. They went home very early. So the holidays were cut short abruptly. So the grandparents called us, and Helen and Kelly from the university you deployed first, didn't you, and solved one of the problems more or less straight away.
Yeah, so Kelly and I walked around the room checking, just kind of doing a pre-check of everything, and we discovered that the alarm clock right next to the bed was emitting so much electromagnetic radiation that it affects the temporal lobe of the brain and makes you think that you're seeing things, feeling things, and remove the alarm clock, no more problems. So that was easily solved.
That probably explains a lot I saw as a kid, too, is I had an alarm clock like that now lives in my garage, so...
The same one as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
No wonder you couldn't sleep well back in the days.
Yeah, this is like, well, that alarm clock was right there, and then I started using my phone, and I don't know, now I don't see stuff usually before I fall asleep.
Well, that's why it's really good to have nothing by the bed at night that can cause you sleep problems, because it's right in line with Michael Persinger's experiments in Canada when he produced the God helmet. And of course, the God helmet was enabled people to have a religious or supernatural experience without actually being so. It was just the electromagnetic impulses.
Yeah, it can do a lot.
But having said that, the Bramble Barn case was presented some other very interesting issues. There was a lot of audio issues going on, like sound of footsteps and a bell ringing. So because it was such a strongly weighted audio case, I got a friend of mine who's an Academy Award-winning sound engineer.
Yeah. And
he bought his Hollywood sound equipment set rigged. So he rigged every room. It looked like you could actually do a remake of Downton Abbey, because it was that fantastic. These were talking $5,000 and $10,000 microphones.
Do a radio show of Downton Abbey.
Oh God, it was fantastic. Anyway, so he deployed all that stuff, and interestingly enough, when it came to analysing the bell, we heard the bell ring.
Wow!
And of course, on his equipment, it was fantastic, and it was a big, deep bell sound. It sounded like the Big Ben bell in London.
Wow.
Now, that set us off trying to find the source of this.
Yeah.
And we were, about an hour later, we were pretty much giving up.
Everyone were like banging on things.
I'll find that sound.
We got to find out what the sound was.
And we spent a good hour, all of us there. I think there was 4 or 5 of us, I think.
And they actually had a great big bell in their living room too. So we
went next to that. So
it wasn't the same tone.
It wasn't the same tone,
sound.
No, we were sat next to it when we heard it ring, so we know it wasn't that one.
Yeah.
Guess what it was?
What was it?
It was the dog. The dog wagged its tail into a radiator, and it went.
Oh no! Dong.
One particular radiator. And it's only because we'd given up, we were just about to have a tea break and going, you know what, let's put this into the 2% we don't know box.
Yeah.
And they went, dong.
And we found it.
The dog sat there just happy as Larry. You know?
Yeah. The dog's like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
No idea.
I can make that happen again. Come to make that noise again. There you go, dong.
That was fantastic.
But it just shows you how thorough you've got to be.
Yeah. You have to check for every possible permutation there, and that one was you just needed the dog next to the radiator.
Yes.
And it was a certain radiator. We banged the radiators in other rooms.
Yeah.
No problem. But this one radiator that we missed.
And the dog went, let me help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it shows you when you've eliminated the impossible, no matter what remains, no matter how improbable, it must be the truth.
Yes.
Anyway, there was an element that we cannot explain, and when it goes in the 2% box, we call it the 2% box, because 98% of what we encounter is generally explainable in one way or another scientifically, but 2% generally falls into the we don't know.
Yes.
And there was a video footage that the owners of the home had of the dog apparently being attacked. That's what it looked like.
Yeah.
By some unseen entity or unseen force. And we set up I'll pass it over to Helen because you led the way on this.
We set up the Estes method. We had Kelly listening in on with the headphones on, the blindfold, so she could not hear our questions, and she's just listening to the static, trying to hear words come through. Yeah. So we're asking.
We're having a knockdown stand-up argument with whatever it is.
Why are you attacking the dog? And we're having a real conversation. This entity is saying this because it's fun. I like it.
Yeah.
We just went on back and forth, and
I was getting quite angry. I
didn't want to stop. And
you will be exorcised. Yeah. Whatever it is, you will be forced to leave if you do not stop attacking the dog. And what did it say?
And finally, at the very end, said, "Okay, fine." And 4 years on, there hasn't been any problems. So we did finally get it to stop.
If that entity is still there, it's just there like, don't exercise me. I won't mess with the dog. I promise.
So bored now.
It does make you wonder what it is.
Yeah.
You know, was it human? We do not know.
Yeah.
Was it a ghost? We don't know.
Yeah. It may have not even been a human ghost. Who knows?
It could. We had a case in Bolton. There is it's a mill town to the north of Manchester. And there is an old police station there, and they have jail cells underneath. It's about 150, 180 years old, so it's not that old really in British terms. But it's quite gloomy and oppressive. Anyway, there's an investigation going on there. This was a charity gig, actually. We don't often work with members of the public, but we had several members of the public join us to raise money for dog rescue this Halloween period about 4 years ago. And we invited a local team in. They were very nice, and they helped process the people through, show them what a real paranormal investigation is like and what have you. At the end of the investigation and the evening, they were performing a Ouija board session. And it became clear to me, sitting on the sidelines, that something was not quite right with whatever it was that was communicating with them. That seemed to be sentient. The questions were answered in a way that suggested that, but also it suggested that it wasn't human. Yeah. So I asked the question, were you or are you the remnants of a human? No, was the resounding from straight away on the planchette move. No.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not a great believer in attachments in the classical sense, but these people jumped. They performed a sort of like a knee-jerk reaction. That's the best way to put it, I think, and didn't shut the board down. They just ended the session.
Yeah.
About 2 or 3 days later, the lady that ended the session that wasn't ended appropriately, should we say.
That's why you got in touch saying, you always got to do it the right way.
Yeah.
Right way, yes.
Whether that's psychological, I don't know.
Yeah, could be.
Jury's out on that.
It could be that you're psychological if you're ending it on your side.
It can't hurt to shut it down properly.
And say you cannot
for your own peace of mind.
Cover all bases, just for everyone's peace of mind. And just like protecting yourself before going into an investigation. Peace of mind. Yeah. Let's just protect ourselves before we go. Yeah.
Well, we got a call from the lady a few days later. Look, I've got a problem. And of course, they always call us because Paranormal Rescue solves problems. That's what we do. Yeah. It's like international. It's like Thunderbirds for the paranormal.
Ghostbusters a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
We all walk like puppets,
Ghostbusters. Yeah, Bond, part of Scooby-Doo in there too.
Yes. Do you love some Scooby-Doo?
But she said, look, I've got a shadow figure and something's attached to me since I didn't shut that Ouija session down properly, and it's becoming problematic.
Yeah.
And she didn't have the electromagnetic issues. We checked for that.
Yeah.
But this thing was stalking her at night and menacing. I think that is the word.
Yeah, she was ready. She was very worried.
And I thought, hang on, let's my sort of like impish mind. I thought, let's perform an experiment here. Let's look at the power of belief and see where this goes. And I said to her, okay, I'm going to give you an incantation. And I use the word incantation because it sounds special. Sounds religious, basically.
Yeah.
You know,
It sounds
it's
magical, like it's going to do something.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, you could have an incantation for a coffee jingle on television or radio show.
Yes.
It's a jingle, but it sounds better to be an incantation.
Yes.
And it's like, I want you to recite this at least 3 times a day. And every time you encounter this entity, to recite with determination, with absolute belief in the incantation, that it will go, that it will disappear, it will be exorcised, and it must not stay there. It cannot attach to you any longer. It has to go. So I said, please repeat the following words, and they're Latin words.
Yeah.
Per mare per terram, trenque paratus, civis pacem parabellum. So she wrote it down. I wrote it down for her. She wrote it down in her own handwriting because she can't read. I've got terrible handwriting. Like a spider walks over a page of the pen. So anyway, she copied it out, and it worked. About a week later, she rings me up and goes, put it on speaker, and Helen and I are rubbing our hands going, did it work? Did it not? She says, yeah, it's worked absolutely like a dream. It came a few times, but it came back, but I said the words you told me to say. I said them with meaning and belief, and it's done. It's gone. It's fantastic. Thank you. She never asked what the meaning of the words were. Per mare per terra means by sea, by land. Utrenque paratus means always prepared for anything, ready for anything. And civis pacem parabellum means if you want peace, prepare for war. It's the motto of the Royal Marines, the Parachute Regiment, the Royal Navy.
That's fabulous.
So she had no clue what she was saying, but
But she believed it.
But she believed it, yeah. Yeah.
And I've always said that I can perform a house clearance or an exorcism with an onion.
Yes. Yeah.
If the person having the problem believed in the onion.
Exactly.
Right.
That's I played a lot with Ouija boards when I was a kid, and I never had any problems because I was like, nothing's going to follow me home. It's not. I'm not worried about that. It's not going to happen. And I would always close it out the right way, mostly for peace of mind for everyone else. And I only ever had one friend who afterwards started seeing shadow people following her around. We had been doing it, and whatever we were speaking to said its name was George. And so I was like, oh, George is following you. Just tell him to leave. Like, if you tell him to go, he probably will. And so eventually she got fed up and was like, you've got to go. And then he left. And I was like, you just have to tell it to go. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, with 100% belief, you are going, and that's it. You have the right approach. You've got the same approach that we have.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to attach to us. That's it.
Yeah.
She has the same approach as our friend Kelly, too.
So many of my friends used to give me their haunted objects, and I wouldn't do anything. I'd just hold on to it for a month or so, and then I'd give it back, and they're like, it's fine now. And I'm like, I didn't do anything. It sat in my house for a month.
You shouldn't tell them that.
Oh, I don't.
There you go.
That's me on the back, and I'm like, I didn't do anything.
I performed an incantation.
Yeah.
An incantation.
Sometimes if I had a wild hair and I thought it might be really bad, I would sprinkle some salt on it and go, okay. And it was just fine. Yeah. And that it's awful for me because I'm like, I want to see the ghost. I want to see what's haunting you, but nothing ever happens. And I'm like, well, okay, you can have this back now. It's fine.
We find a surprising number of people that we encounter that call us for help. They want a paranormal solution. They want a paranormal outcome to a problem that's not paranormal.
A lot of people want to be haunted, want to be.
We had a lawyer, very nice lady who was a lawyer, not too north of England, very intelligent lady. She swore that she had a portal in her bedroom.
Yeah.
And that legions, she used the term legions are coming through my portal. Wow. Legions, exactly. Every other part of this person seemed perfectly normal, apart from this almost crazed intent to be haunted.
Yeah.
When we deployed there, she insisted we came. When we came, we deployed equipment. We had Kelly from the university, Helen, myself. In fact, we've got a very interesting fellow that's a member of the team. He's a special effects technician from the movie industry, so he helps us debunk things. Very useful people.
Yes.
We could find nothing except a badly painted white wall.
Yep. Yep.
I had to use the term. It's just, and I said that it's just a badly painted white wall. But,
Yeah.
but I can see things. I said that's pareidolia.
Yeah, our brains are wired to look for human faces, and if you've got paint, even if it's the same paint and one is glossy and one's matte, it's gonna change and you're gonna see things in there because it's not the same.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
But she was bitterly disappointed because there wasn't a paranormal outcome.
Yeah. That's the thing is, I want to see it, but also I'm a little bit relieved when I don't. I'm like, okay, cool. You can have this back now. It's fine.
We've got a very interesting case that's ongoing at the moment, and I think we just cracked it because two things came to light. This is in North Carolina, South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Because we do operate internationally, which is kind of strange for this small team, but we do get around a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And this person's had some strange activity going on at the house. And there's no apparent reason for it. Well, it became apparent this last month when the electricity company sent him a bill for $17,000.
Wow.
And then they had it analysed. There's some major electrical fault underneath the house that the electrical company are going to have to dig under the foundations. Because it's like, okay, all of a sudden, electromagnetic radiation springs to mind. Mm-hmm. There's nobody checked for this. Nobody has checked for it.
Yeah.
No, we were just getting ready to plan to go out and visit.
We were ready to deploy a team.
Yeah,
no.
And then
so the electric company's done our work.
Yeah, the electric company went, I got you, hold on.
Yeah.
So whether that does solve the problem, right?
Yeah,
said, really? I said, yeah.
To be seen, but yeah, that would probably explain that. We were talking a little bit before we started recording I've mentioned this on the show of when I went out to the Stanley, and I'm like, I didn't see anything while I was there, but there was so much electricity that my hair was standing on end the whole time, and every time I touched the elevator button, it would shock me. Every time. So maybe it's haunted, maybe it's not, but there's so much electrical energy there, it's going to make people see some things. Just, that's what electromagnetic fields do. It makes you feel a little paranoid. It kind of heightens your senses with that. So maybe it's helping you see things, or maybe it's making you see things. It could go either way.
Absolutely.
I totally agree with you. Absolutely agree with you. It either ramps up what's there or your perception of what is there. Mm-hmm. And that can either be a religious experience or paranormal experience, depending upon how you wire.
Exactly. Exactly.
But it's very so. Then I always find the most interesting things happen when you least expect them.
Mm-hmm.
Helen and I have explored the Palmer House in Sauk Centre a lot. And we were first intrigued to go there because of a TV show where everything was a demon. And the Palmer House was apparently full of demons until we deployed there and found out there's absolutely nothing going.
No, there's nothing.
Whatever is there that we got in touch with, because we did communicate with something that was apparently sentient. And it seemed quite pleasant.
Yeah.
It probably was like, everyone keeps calling me a demon. I just want friends.
Yes, it was nice. That evening, that first night we were there, I went to bed, and it was weird. I felt like I didn't sleep at all because I felt like all of the spirits were coming to introduce themselves to me.
Yeah, they're just like, hey, how's it going?
And they were like, hi, it's so nice to have you here. Welcome. I woke up and I was like, oh my goodness, I didn't sleep at all. That was great, though. Fantastic.
Yeah. I was there another time, and the hotel was closed on this occasion with another investigator. And because we knew the owner very well, we were given permission to research. So there's the owner, myself, and my colleague. And we were on I think it was the first floor of the hotel, going in to one of the rooms to set up some equipment for an experiment.
Mm-hmm.
When looking down the corridor, someone popped out of the stairwell, sort of leaned out, and looked over to us, went, hi, and then popped back into the stairwell. And it was a black man wearing a 1930s sort of suit. Mm-hmm. That's all I can describe it as.
Yeah.
So I immediately thought, oh my goodness, who's got in the hotel? We're supposed to be locked and we've left a load of equipment everywhere. Who is it? So I dashed down the corridor, got to the stairwell, there's no one there. Dashed down the stairwell, nearly falling over myself and tumbling. Reached the bottom of the hotel and I bump into the hotel owner. I said, who the heck's got into the hotel?
Yeah.
She said, there's no one in the hotel. The door's locked. I've been here at the desk working. there's no one can pass me. So I described what I'd seen. She said, "Oh, you've seen the ghost. You've seen one of the apparitions."
It's the apparition. Everyone's seen.
I was kind of
always
relieved,
love that
going,
response.
"Oh,
Oh, it's just the ghost.
Well, I was kind of, "Oh, great, that's great. So long as there's no one in the hotel."
Yeah.
I was equally happy.
Yeah. Well, a ghost is probably not going to try to take your equipment. Probably.
No, that's fine. And if you were going to steal equipment, you wouldn't dress in 1930s suits so you could be identified immediately, could you?
Or that is the perfect like Scooby-Doo getaway of just like he was dressed in this 1930s suit and he ran down the street, where it's like, no, that didn't happen. No one's gonna believe you.
Well, funny enough, the next day when we were leaving, someone said, "Those pesky kids."
Meddling kids.
Meddling kids.
Meddling kids, that's it.
I love that.
Oh,
That actually
just shows you when.
It just reminded me of the last house that I lived in. I had completely forgotten about this. It was a newly built house. There had been a house there and they tore it down and they built this new house. So everything was new. There was some weird electrical issues, so this partially makes me wonder if that's what it was. But whenever we would be sitting in the living room downstairs, it had this staircase that went up, and then there was a little landing, and then it went up again that way. And both me and my friend, when we would be there, we would see this shadow figure just standing on the stairs, just standing there, where we're like, "What do you want?" And I didn't want anything, but we were just like, "Why are you just standing there?" So one day I was finally like, "I'm tired of him just staring at us. It's weird." So I, just had this whole day where I went around to every room in the house where I was like, "Hey, you have to go. You can't keep hanging out on the stairs. It's weird. You've got to stop. We're just trying to hang out and live here." And we never saw it again after that. And I'd completely forgotten about that until now, because it was such just a small little thing that I completely forgot about it. And it's also funny. I didn't even think to try to get evidence of it either. I was just like, "Get off my stairs." I was like, "What are you doing?"
But you see, you're a calm and rational person that would do that. Most people would panic. "It's a ghost. Oh boy, I'm scared."
I wish I would have tried to get evidence. I was just like, "Stop."
No, you would take it the right approach there. You're taking the right approach. You're a rational person.
But I do wish I would have tried to collect some evidence before I was like, "Get out of here."
Right.
Yeah.
Next time, evidence first, and then you can go.
Yeah. The only other.
See?
It was just a shadow figure, but the only other weird activity we had there, we kind of jokingly called this the cider ghost. After Halloween, I had some cider and I was putting it back in the fridge, and when I went to put it in the fridge, like before it hit the shelf, I just heard, "Yes!" And I turned around because I thought my roommate might be home, and there was nobody in the house, and I was just like, "What?" So we just started calling it the cider ghost. We were like, I don't know, it's just a ghost that's really pumped about cider. And that was the only time. Yeah, I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna put this away now. So part of me wonders if maybe that was the same entity or something, I don't know. But or it could have just been the electrical issues in the house.
No, it's just very happy you're tidying up. Yes.
Yeah,
tidying up.
It was like right in my ear, right behind me, and I turned around and was just like, "What?"
Wow.
Yeah, it's very, very strange.
And nothing else weird
strange.
ever happened there other than that. Like I said, it was an old 1932 house that was there before that had been falling down, and then they knocked it down and built a new one. And I was talking to one of my neighbors later. Apparently that whole area used to be like a landfill. So we would dig up weird objects in the backyard all the time, like buttons and stuff like that, because it was all down under the dirt. So gardening was always interesting.
Yeah, I bet. Oh.
It does amaze me, actually, but what you consider old in the United
I
States.
said that, and I was like, yeah, that's not even really old compared to anything in Europe.
Well, and I think this is when we started talking about the 100 years or less. I felt like we found a lot more activity in America than we do here. Because I was thinking, we're going to go to these amazing the old castles, find some really cool haunted stuff. Nothing. And where you can go to something that's like 50 years old, 60 years old in America. Yeah. Totally haunted. Yeah. So,
of course, Bob in jail in Cornwall, absolutely nothing. I mean, not to say there isn't.
Maybe other people. I know other people have seen things, but we got nothing.
But it's 250-year-old thereabouts building. It's just stone and steel, and there's not much left there apart from visitors.
Yeah.
And then this was a brand new house, and couple of things.
It makes sense.
It just occurred to me. I wonder if it was the old owners of the house, because I found out from my mailman a little bit later, because I kept getting these letters, and I was like, these people have never lived here because this house is new, and we're the first people who have lived here. And I was talking to the mailman, and he went, oh, they used to live in the house that was knocked down, which is funny because if I went back and looked at the glass was all knocked out the windows. It's like, how did they live here? It was this older couple. He apparently passed away, and she moved over a couple of streets. So she still lived in the area. And so when my regular mailman was there, I would give him their mail, and he would take it to her. So it makes me wonder now if it was the man who passed away. And I hadn't thought about that and connected that together. It could have been him. Maybe he was just excited about cider. Yeah.
And construction, too. Any sort of building construction can amp up energy as well. So
yeah, it shifts that energy. Well, and then you're probably, if you're doing construction, you're probably working on the electrical, too.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
Well, because going back to the Castle Street police station affair, we had a dog with us at the time. It was a very strange dog because he was the most placid animal. Nothing would disturb him. It could be a bomb go off in the car park outside, and he'd be like, "Oh, what the heck?"
He was an ex-racing greyhound, and he was the laziest thing ever.
That's so funny. I've met so many greyhounds that are just nervous, but he's just like, no.
No, just chill. So chill.
So chill, but he was the greatest paranormal detective. He would actually sense things before equipment would pick anything up.
Wow.
And you were in with him first.
So I would always take him through first, and he was chasing something through the courtroom, up and down the benches, and I don't know what he could see. I couldn't see it, but he was following something. Then brought me down into the jail cell downstairs, and then he just stopped, and then he started kind of coughing and
he was growling at this jail cell entrance,
and he started like coughing.
When he went inside, he started coughing,
choking. So I brought him outside. I was like, oh gosh, what's going on? And then he got his breath. He was fine. But we found out that the jail cell that he was in, there had only been 2 people that died, and they had to hang themselves in that jail cell.
Oh. And so he started choking.
Something.
Yeah, something.
In that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we would go back and investigate that place again, and he would never go in that jail cell. He didn't like.
He's like, I don't want to.
Like, think of.
But that's in line with Project Half-Life, because that's about 150 years old. So there's
50 years.
You're still going to get about 17 to 20% of activity going on over that sort of age.
Yeah.
And that's part of why with the old house, I'm like, maybe it was the old owner, because that also, I mean, that wasn't that long ago.
That would have fit. Yeah.
People ask me, why did you call it Project Half-Life? I said, well, everything seems to have a half-life where the energy decays and eventually disappears. It does beg many questions in my mind. If a ghost has a limited lifespan, and that's, let's say, for example, according to our research, it's 250 years maximum. Is a year of time the same for them as it is for us? Because time's a construct, there's no real meaning. So what is the relevance of time to them? Where do they go to? How do they transition? And does that following reincarnation, if you like, have a lifespan as well? How many of these? How many lifespans?
Layers or levels?
Layers are there.
How does time work for another being? Well, I mean, even dogs. We talk about dog years. They also, time is different for them. So that does make me curious what time would be like for a spirit. I mean, even like a lot of the spirits that appear, they're still in their old garb from whatever time period they died in, but they still can interact with what's current. Like you mentioned, they know where the stairs are, even if the building's been knocked down and there's a new building there. They still stay on the stairs.
Very curious, isn't it? I mean, it's almost like they've got some like quantum entanglement with what was there.
But they still can interact with what's there now.
Yeah.
Which very different from stone tape theory and the soldiers.
Very different.
They witnessed the soldiers marching down the road, but they can only see him from their knees up.
Yeah.
So
Roman legions.
that's it. Yeah. So,
Interesting.
but that's different. That's the stoat. They're not actually interacting with you.
But interestingly
It's
enough,
like you're just watching a movie go
Yeah.
by.
with the stone tape theory, the most famous case, of course, is Harry Martingale
Yeah.
in York when he saw the legion that Helen's talking about, the legion of Roman soldiers marching through the wall and along the ground at knee level. Well, he observed many details that weren't known about at the time as to what the legions were wearing, their armor, their swords, and all this sort of thing. It proved he was correct about 30 years later.
That is great evidence.
But it does beg the question about, okay, what seemed to trigger his experience was a disturbance in the structure of the property. He was knocking a hole through a wall to put plumbing in, new pipework. So again, it's structural interference. Disturbing that. So there's always seems to be a trigger to stone tape theory of some sort. Not saying it's always a disturbance of like knocking something, but
it
there
certainly
does seem
seems
to be
to stir
some
things
sort
up.
of trigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
I think it's interesting too that there
fascinating.
seems to be different types of, sightings as well. Because in that case, it's like watching a movie. You can't really interact, but then there's ones that will interact. So there seems to be different, and maybe it's one takes more energy than the other. Maybe older ghosts, they can't interact as much.
Yep.
But I do think it's interesting, the ghosts that you can be like talking to this box and they're like, oh, okay, sure. It's just interesting.
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it? The more you go, the more questions there are, the less answers that you find.
Yeah.
It's very annoying, isn't it, when you think about it like that? It's like,
At the
that's
same
all our
time,
research does.
It keeps you continuing with it.
It keeps us going. It really is really lucky. It really is a good thing that we run Paranormal Rescue, because we get people knocking on our door that have problems or seem to have problems, that we can sort of cherry pick the ones we want to, or we're able to help, because we can't help with every case that comes in, because we need huge resources and be traveling backwards and forwards across the world every other week. But what we have got now are little teams in the United States, in Canada, and in Australia. So trusted people who we work with who are objective, but yet will have an open mind. They're open-minded skeptics, if you like. We are.
Yeah. I think that's what people are always like, do you believe in ghosts and aliens? I'm like, I'm open-minded to it. I've seen things that I can't explain. Are they ghosts? I don't know. Are they aliens? I don't know. But I'm not going to rule it out. I just want some evidence.
I love the way you go, I don't know, because that is absolutely the right approach. It's like where someone says, can you play the piano? Well, I don't know.
Let's find out.
How do you don't know? I've never tried.
Yeah.
But until you try something, or until you have evidence, how do you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It is interesting to me, the people that are like, full on yes or full on no. And I'm like, how can you be so certain?
I am fairly certain that there is something going on in the UAP phenomena.
Oh, absolutely.
Side of things.
And I fully believe that aliens exist. Have we seen them? I don't know. Just statistically, they probably exist.
Yep.
When you think about, they say UFOs, why can't we see them? With all this, everyone's got a cell phone camera now.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, we've had powered flight for about 125 years. And in that 125 years, we're still in our infancy. But even now, we're researching stealth technology, metamaterials to bend light. It's not that hard to comprehend a society that's maybe just 500 years old, older than we are. 500 years more advanced. They could have mastered this technology way beyond our wildest expectations.
Yeah.
So when people say, "Oh, we'd have seen them, or we'd have tracked them," how?
Not necessarily.
Would you have? Yeah.
Just don't have the equipment to track them.
Yeah.
But
that's even the people that are like, "There's no ghosts." I'm like, well, I mean, like, we just don't have maybe the right technology yet to be able to see exactly what we need to see to be like, yes, it's there. We have all kinds of bits of evidence, but there's not like, just like a full on, just here it is. You can interact with it. You can summon it whenever you want, and maybe eventually we'll get to that point, or maybe we won't. And that's fine too.
I feel very lucky that the UAPs that I've encountered or been involved in the encounters with have been with witnesses that were police officers.
Yes. Yeah. It's always nice when someone sees it with you.
Yes.
Yeah, it really is. And my very first encounter was back in the late 70s. Yes, I am giving my age away there. And in short, I was driving over a country patch near Manchester, coming down through the hills, past a reservoir on my left, and I could see this strange light. And I thought, oh, it's an aircraft going to Manchester Airport. And there's someone with me in the car, and he said, yeah, it's the same. Anyway, we stopped the car, and it wasn't. It was something that was hovering. This light was over the reservoir. We suddenly got a feeling that, you know what, we shouldn't be here. So we got in the car, started driving off. This thing started following us.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. It got to the point we could see it in our rearview mirror.
Oh, wow.
So I was losing I was young. I was like, oh God, we're going to be beamed up, never be seen again.
Yeah.
And so I don't know why I thought it would be the best thing to do at the time, but I went to the police station in a place called the Rising Sun, which is where the road splits near Manchester to go into the Peak District or to go off into Macclesfield and Cheshire. It's where the sort of counties separate. And I dashed into the police station with Cliff, and we knocked on the desk. Come on out. And this old police sergeant, he's like very accommodating. Have you been drinking? No, we've not been drinking. Please, it's outside. Eventually he humoured us. He came to the door and he was absolutely amazed because the thing was still there.
Yeah.
So he pressed an alarm bell and all these police officers come running out, and he said, what's going on? Anyway, he sent patrol cars up to the golf club where this thing seemed to be hovering over. And I was on the steps of the police station with some other officers, with Cliff, this friend of mine who was with me, and we saw the thing go shooting straight up into the sky.
Wow.
No explanation, no idea what it was.
Yeah.
But at least 8 police officers, or maybe 9.
They were also like, it's right there.
Yeah. And then another case at the back of the house where I used to live in Cheshire, I backed onto a place called Malcott, which is a hill. And on the top of that hill is the castle ruin. And one night, I didn't witness this, but I witnessed the aftermath. One night there, a police officer lost time because someone reported a UFO. A police officer was sent to investigate, and he lost time because they hadn't heard from him for about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So they sent another patrol car after him. And he was like, I've just got here. What are you doing here? Anyway, I think it was the day or two after that, I was coming out of I had a gym in the garage. I had a workout late in the evening. About 10 o'clock, I was locking up. I did a walk over to the house. And I looked up in the sky just by chance, and I could see this huge ball of light zooming across the sky.
Yeah.
Must have been doing 700 miles an hour, something like that. It was very fast. And it was followed by 2 obviously military aircraft with afterburners on. I can say I've had some flight experience in jet planes. Yeah. So I've got an idea of what afterburners look like more than most, and I could tell these things was storming on, making a hell of a racket, chasing this thing. Turns out it was in the papers, a big kerfuffle, and it was seen by multiple radar stations with the Royal Air Force, and turned out to be a big deal. But you never know what you're going to encounter, do you?
You never do.
Was it a UFO? Do we know? Could have been military stealth technology. We don't know.
One of the most vivid experiences like that I had. My mom and I were driving in the car, driving back home, and I saw what I at first thought was just a shooting star, where it was just. But as it started kind of descending, it started zigzagging. I was like, shooting stars don't do that. And then I was like, maybe I'm just really tired. I don't know. And I looked over at my mom and I saw her face and I was like, oh, you saw that too. Okay. Okay. So my mom and I saw, UFO at the time, UAP now, together in the car, where I was just like, oh, okay. And then we just drove home and we really haven't talked about it since then. But it was just like, oh, okay, you did see that too. All right.
Nice to have validation, isn't it?
It is, because
definitely.
I was just like, I'm just going to go home and go to bed. Maybe I'm just really tired. And then as soon as I saw her face, I was like, oh, okay. All right.
One of the most spectacular cases that we encountered in 2017, a friend in Minnesota, Adrian Lee, rang me up and said, look, do you guys want to come on an investigation this weekend? So we'll go on, tempt us. He said, it's the 100th anniversary of the Redwood Falls axe murder. And I said, I've got permission from the State Museum to take the axe with us to the graves of the victims and the alleged perpetrator.
Yeah.
They're in the same cemetery. So we're there after dark, holding the murder weapon.
Oh my gosh.
Thinking, this is fun. Anyway, Adrian they deployed some very good equipment there. They've got a good team of people. And the information they got suggested that the person that committed the murder or allegedly committed the murder was the wrong person.
Wow.
Because so
the person that they thought did it was the husband, and that he killed his wife and his 4 kids. But now based on the evidence that we got during that investigation, they think it was 2 travelers that went through the area at the time, and there's a number of murders that happened where these people went.
Sort of trail of murders.
A trail, yeah. So now they think it was maybe these other two guys that did it and not the husband.
But that wasn't the best part, really. We were at the grave of the alleged perpetrator. Adrian's team were deploying the equipment, and we were just chatting, as you do, holding murder weapons.
Yeah.
And it's a murder weapon. What the hell? It's got blood on it. So it's still different. Anyway, I looked over at Adrian and looked past him. And I said, what the heck is that? There was a huge ball of light heading in a horizontal plane.
It was a red ball
of light across about 2 miles away.
All of our equipment was spiking.
The equipment started making noises.
Electrical
So they're recording data. His team were recording data and all this sort of thing. The thing stops, it vectors again, and then shoots off east-northeast.
Yeah. Huh.
The equipment then stopped reacting, and that was it. Things were back to normal.
And there were 6 of us there, 2 government
officials. You still stand there holding the murder weapon, just like,
what
was that? What?
So the murder weapon paled into insignificance like that.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't need that anymore.
I know where your grave is. I'll come back for you in a minute.
Just hold that thought. We've got UAP to deal with.
Wild.
Then exactly 5 minutes later, a yellow one appeared.
No, it was
an orange one. An
orange ball of light.
Wow.
Did the exact same thing.
Stopped in the same place roughly.
Yeah.
Made the same maneuvers, went off again. And exactly 5 minutes after that, a yellow one.
And then 5 minutes after that, a yellow one. And then the obelisk came up at the same time the yellow one appeared and said yellow. And we were like, okay. With the rest of the stuff spiking, everything, we were like, what is going on?
What was that? We have no clue.
That's so weird.
I think this is the first time I've ever heard a story of someone while in a paranormal investigation seeing a UAP during that investigation.
And the UAP fell into insignificance. The paranormal investigation was like, no, you'll be there. You're dead. We know you are. We'll
do that again.
Oh my gosh. That is
it was quite
wild.
It's funny, Adrian performed a seance, and you've got pictures on an SLS camera of some kind of stick figures next to us, and we're like, whatever.
We're concerned cool, about whatever.
UAP. Very funny.
Yeah, that was fascinating. We were all interrogated separately.
Yeah, to
make sure
that
the story corroborated.
Well, having 2 government officials there, or state officials, that sort of added weight to the case because they were equally perplexed.
Yeah.
And it's funny when you get relevant EVPs, that, like Helen mentioned with that ovilus.
Yeah, yellow.
Do you have equipment when you see a EVP? He ever has. So it was really interesting that we actually.
Which also makes me wonder if that was one of the spirits being like, "Yeah, I see it too, yellow." They're also like, I can't believe this either.
Exactly. Yes.
Absolutely right. Good perspective.
They're like, they're interrupting my investigation right now.
Hey, they're here for me. Go away.
Adrian was like, I'm just going to put the laser grid down, see if they'll come and say hi. And I was like, no, 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 no. Let's just be quiet. Don't let them know we're here.
I didn't want to be probed.
I did not want to be. Yeah, no.
Mm-mm.
Thanks.
Mm-mm. Oh my gosh. Well,
Yes,
we are right
very
at the
funny.
top of the hour here, so that's perfect timing.
You are listening to Strange Talk on Radio Artifact on 1660 AM in Northside and 91.7 FM HD to WEXU in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for your time and for all of your amazing stories. And I'm glad we got to talk about Project Half-Life and got to, elaborate on that rather than, the 2 paragraphs.
Exactly.
Yeah, I appreciate that very much indeed.
Yeah.
In fact, that leads me on to our next project because
Yes.
Project Half-Life is taking another step.
Yes.
I've just completed our latest book called Quantum Paranormal, which looks at the paranormal, or a whole range of paranormal phenomena through the lens of quantum physics. And the more research we did, the more it led us to believe that virtually all paranormal phenomena is allowed in some way theoretically through the world of quantum physics.
Yeah.
So instead of deterministic physics going, that's nonsense.
Yeah. What do you mean?
No, all of a sudden it's like the other way around. There are many, many aspects that allow for it. So that's a new book and a new story.
Yeah.
And we're launching that very shortly, very soon. And I will say that it's quite controversial in places.
Yes. Well, I would love to have you back to talk about that as well, because I'm also excited to read it.
We'd love to be back and
yes, please.
Maybe share some more stories about how we came to all this conclusion.
I would absolutely
Thank you so
love
much
that.
for having us.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and sign off for the night. So good night and good luck.